Viewers, this is the Explosive Exclusive with me, Rahul Shivshankar. What I'm going to show you over the next few minutes will give you the chills. This shocking visual will reveal the radicalization going on in the state of Kerala and just how deep the roots have penetrated. In a march carried out by the Kerala government-designated extremist group PFI, a child was heard issuing death threats openly to Christians and Hindus. He was making some very, very pointed insinuations about religions and matters that, quite frankly, children should not be exposed to. The child appears to be that of a PFI sympathizer who was participating in the rally. Listen very closely to what this child says, viewers. He's caught on tape. Listen in. Viewers, you can see in those pictures, as we saw the child chanting those slogans, a large number of PFI workers, activists carrying the PFI flag were walking along, in fact, following the child's lead. Yes, this happened right in the heart of Alleppey. Keep rice ready for last rites. God of death, Yama, is going to visit your home. This is a pointed threat given by a child to Hindus and Christians. He couldn't be more than 10 years old. He ends by saying that if you won't behave yourself, we know how to make you. Listen to another video where this time the threat is much more pointed. Listen in. So these PFI activists, no compunctions about following this child's lead. There is no attempt to ask him to keep quiet or to counsel him or to tell his parents, his guardians, that this is not what a child should be taught to say. Viewers, this is not out of character. The Kerala government itself has called the PFI an extremist group. SDPI rally. SDPI, of course, is just the political wing of the PFI. The NI in its chart sheets has talked about the interconnectedness of these organizations. In the past, the PFI has carried out similar hateful rallies where it has depicted its adversaries in a very negative light. Watch some of these pictures. RSS and Hindus on two different occasions were shown in handcuffs, being whipped. Even then, the might of the law was not brought to bear on the PFI SDPI. I want to take you through some of the provocations, some of these hateful rallies that the PFI has been associated with. Hindus and Christians on notice. It's 22nd May 2021. You've seen the pictures of this young child astride his guardian's shoulder, walking down the streets of Alappuzha and chanting all these hateful slogans. But there was a parade of hate in October 26 last year, viewers. Rally endorsing violence against Hindus, showing a person dressed up like Yogi Adityanath being whipped, being beaten. The idea was to show those who wear saffron robes as enemies of Islam. So that's very clear on your screens. Again, in February 2021, viewers, workers dressed in RSS uniforms paraded. Men in RSS uniforms were chained and dragged. And that too was clearly visible. We're going to pull out those visuals. But what's appalling is that till now, the Kerala police is yet to take any firm action, yet to file a case despite strong notice by the Child Rights Panel to register an FIR. That hasn't still happened. We don't quite know what is stopping the Kerala police from arresting all the people who are goading this young child into making very hateful, illegal jibes at other communities. The PFI, on the other hand, has admitted that while the rally was definitely their own and that the child did raise hate slogans, they said that the slogans he was chanting were not approved by the PFI, by the organization itself. Viewers, that is actually very difficult to believe, because you're hearing the cadre actually being prompted by this child. It's not as if the cadre are not in any way chanting or echoing what this young child has been taught to say. In fact, it's quite obvious that there is encouragement for this. The BJP has questioned a free run to those baying for the blood of Christians and Hindus. And the BJP additionally has blamed madrasas for this radicalization. Listen in.
A group called the PFI, which has been branded as extremist recently by the Kerala High Court. Instead of acting on this, the Kerala government allows them a free pass to take out this march of bigotry and hatred. The left parties, which once upon a time said PFI was the avatar of Simi, is allowing them this kind of free run, giving them patronage, defending them. But where is that entire Islamophobia ecosystem, that ecosystem of so-called secularities? Why aren't they taking a position on this?
And look at this little kid who is hardly 10 years talking about death to other communities. How does it happen? I think it's simple. Radicalization in the madrasas where these kids are mandatorily sent, and of course there to their houses, radicalization. And this little child has learned possibly from the madrasa. I mean, this is an extremely dangerous situation. I think both the Congress and the communists should realize that they're playing with fire. It's not really about vaguely about national security. No, it's right there in front of you. You know, a child threatening. It means it's a question of a whole community out there which has been indoctrinated.
Let me bring in Rahul Easwar. Rahul Easwar, how do you view what we have just heard and seen?
Rahul Shivshankar, as a Malayali who knows the language, it's spine-chilling, painful, sad, and wholeheartedly we should condemn it. Otherwise, we will have a generation which is misled. And accused National Child Rights Commission should actively take a case against the parents of this person. And a 10-year-old, beyond Hindu or Muslim,
they belong to playground, not such political grounds. It is extremely unfortunate, and there should be strong action. The Islamist lineage of thinking should be nipped in the bud. It is anti-Indian Muslim, it is anti-India, anti-human, and we should take strong action. And not even wishy-hogi washed by Popular Front won't be enough. Strong police case and prosecution the parents and the other people is needed, because this is done to save also that child from extremism. Otherwise, that child may end up in Syria or any other place with this kind of a mindset. We have to save that child also from terrorist intent. It is absolutely unacceptable, and action should be taken again.
Well, that's a very well-made point and a very robust point there by Rahul Easwar. Viewers, I just want to quietly draw some analogies with you. You have seen visuals of children being turned into soldiers for a particular group of religious fundamentalists. And that's happened in Kashmir. And now you have a situation where in Kerala, you are seeing children being used to spread bigotry. And Majid Hyderi, this is precisely what you need to speak up against. the use of children from Kashmir now to Kerala in propagating radicalism, hate, intolerance, I'm sure you will take an evolved stand and you will support me when I say the time has come to dismantle Islamists, end the denial. These are not law and order issues born out of alienation. There is something fundamentally wrong here, and there is an attempt being made to radicalize, to create a ripe atmosphere for a Ghazwa-e-Hind against the nation and its people.
Well, Rahul Saab, I hope you will agree with me on this, that we were born in the country where we as kids all love to sing Nanna Munna Rahi Hoon, Desh Ka Sipahi Hoon, Bolo Mere Sang Jai Hind. What was this idea of Jai Hind? This was the Hind, the name celebrated by the Muslims and the Mughals who called it Hindustan. But today both the Muslims and the Mughals are being abused in the country. So the kids of nowadays are forgetting our history, because everything is being distorted and Muslims are being pushed to the wall. It is not the fault of this boy. It is the fault of the saffron politics, the bad saffron politics, the communal politics, all introduced by the BJP. We never had such kids prior to 2014, sir. I'm not justifying.
Sir, at least have an outright condemnation.
BJP, sir. No, I condemn the government for this. This never happened prior to 2014. I never saw any boy doing such a bad thing. This is firstly for his parents to look into why has he been so indoctrinated. But then let's look at the ground reality, sir. We have restrictions on what to eat. We have restrictions on Azan. We have Gyanvapi issue. We have Qutub Minar issue. We have issues over Aurangzeb, the man who integrated India into one nation. The man who gave India the name Hindustan.
Let us fight it out. Let us spare our children. Let us fight it out. Let us spare our children for this.
Sir, can I say something to you, Majid Saab? There is a young fruit seller's son who is today going to represent his country against South Africa. There is a young Muslim woman who faces the same that you claim, the same alienation, etc., that you claim. Yet she stands there and wins a gold medal and then comes out and says that this is dedicated to other young Muslim women who need to stand up to the obscurantists in my faith. Have you forgotten, Majid Saab? We want soldiers. I
have not forgotten what happened.
We want soldiers
because he was a Muslim. No, I remember. I remember what has been happening to Muslims, sir.
No, sir.
I remember what happened to Shah Rukh Khan, Aryan Khan, Salman Khan.
No. Are you telling me? Okay, one second. Let me bring in Sushil Pandit, and I'll bring Rahul Easwar back again. But Sushil Pandit, how do you view this defense that is being placed by Majid Hyderi tonight?
Rahul, I'm not surprised at all. I've heard from Majid Hyderi on enough occasions. This is very predictable. But between you and your viewers, we have wasted 10 years in gentle chiding and ritual criticism of PFI. If I remember right, a certain Professor Matthews had stopped off in Cambridge for putting a certain question in a question paper, and that happened before 2014. His wife committed suicide later. They were abandoned by society, even in their own college. Now the point is, we have been making arguments and advocacies on behalf of PFI, whereas we should have done PFI on the very first day, and we are still dragging up. We have engendered a monster amongst us, and we are wondering what to do with it. This is a mindset, and we need to crush it in the very seed form itself, nip it in the bud. But we are seeing it literally flourish and become a monster. And tomorrow it will be too late. It has already shown its fangs several times over. I don't know what we are waiting for, what the central government is waiting for, what the state government is waiting for. Just ritual criticism and transgressions once in a while is
a longer view. What is the pathology here? Rahul Easwar, what is the pathology at work here?
Let me be very honest.
You know, you have Majid Hyderi who justifies this.
I know. I was pained to hear that. I never thought anybody could justify. See, 2 points. One, we are proud to have the third oldest holy mosque in the world after Holy Mecca and Medina, where we proudly say our king went to Holy Mecca and met Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have great, like, even today we have greats like Rasul Pukuti, who is from Muslim community, who went to the Oscar and said, I am from the land of Omkara. No, we are such an integrated society where even, temples and mosques celebrate festivals together. We have the holiest of Islamic shrine, Shabrimala, and we go together. There is no alienation in Kerala. Kerala is a heaven for tourism. Even in Kerala, they are doing this. That means it is Islamism or extreme Wahhabi Islamism, which want to dominate others, subjugate others, and destroy others. Let's be honest about it.
Viqar, Aslam, respond to Rahul Easwar. He's calling out what he believes is uncompromising.
Yes. I think Mr. Rahul Easwar doesn't know that PM Modi got an award from Wahhabis in the Emirates. In Dubai, PM Modi was given the highest prestigious civil award that can be given to anybody by the Wahhabis. The same Wahhabis he is calling out and he is rejecting on national TV. I think PM Modi should give the award back to those Islamists who gave him that award. Secondly, I would like to, by same logic, the same logic you applied on this hate speech, if we apply the same logic, if the law enforcement agencies in India would have been free and independent, I think most of the BJP ministers, Shiv Sena activists and Hindu Mahasabha activists should be behind jail. They have been propagating this polarization as divide among communities from decades now. Now they are in power. Now they are using
doesn't make a right. The two negativities doesn't make a right.
I am not going to justify using a kid. Nobody. It's a basic logic, common sense. Sir, we're not going to use a kid and allow that. And I reject that. We condemn this. But at the same point, when there are trishuls shown at Muslims that we will not let you go into the mosque, all the mosques are being claimed. Everything is being claimed from Muslims. Where do they go? You have alienated them, isolated them. This frustration that is coming out is because of
Viqar ul Aslam, let me say something to you, sir. By that yardstick, that yardstick, please. Aslam Saab, 1 minute. By that yardstick, Sushil Pandit would have grown into a terrorist. By that yardstick, a large number of Kashmiri Hindu children would have picked up the gun. They would have formed terror organizations. What greater sense of alienation than what was suffered by Kashmiri Hindus? Mr. Pandit, am I wrong?
No, I don't think they get it, Rahul. They would use anything to rationalize this violence. They know that earlier they had to force us through violence, a partition. We've been forced to a partition through violence. We've been forced to convert through violence. We've been forced to relinquish our holiest of places through violence.
Sushil,
they think they can get
bigotry on your part.
They think they can get away with violence on your part.
You condemn the PFI, but don't you speak? You don't speak against Bajrang Dal or RSS. This is really bigotry, sir.
Can I respond to this, Mr.
In the last 30 years, did we ever say Mandir ke niche masjid in Kashmir mein? Never. Though there are some temples which we have masjids in Kashmir. But we have never spoken about that, sir.
And if need be, you get a taste of your own medicine.
Well, viewers, look, I cannot believe that an attempt is being made to rationalize the indoctrination of young children. Viewers, I think a Lakshman Rekha has to be drawn. It has to be drawn not in the shifting sands of political rhetoric, but in stone. And that line must not be crossed. There must be consequences for doing so. The Kerala government must act and lead by example. Big